Good afternoon, welcome. Good evening, welcome back to the Football Heritage. Today, we'll be bringing you the weekend preview in the Premier League and the Spanish La Liga. And this weekend, we have so many games, and the most talked about game this weekend will be Sunday, where Liverpool will clash with Manchester City for the Premier League title. So let me just go into the weekend fixture in the Premier League. The first game played today, Brighton and Southampton drew 1-1. Tomorrow, first game will be Brentford versus Leicester City, and Crystal Palace will entertain Newcastle United. Nottingham Forest versus Ipswich Town. Wolverhampton Wanderers will welcome Bournemouth. West Ham United will welcome Arsenal. These are the 5 games for tomorrow. Then on Sunday, Manchester United will play Everton at Old Trafford. Chelsea will entertain Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge. Then the biggest game of the weekend will be at Anfield, where Liverpool will welcome Manchester City. So in La Liga, we only talk about the 2 top teams in La Liga, Real Madrid and Barcelona. And this weekend, Barcelona will welcome La Palmas. Real Madrid will entertain Getafe at the Santiago Bernabeu. So let's look at the first game we want to look at today in detail is the West Ham United versus Arsenal. Since Arsenal captain came back from injury, he has been sensational. He has been very good since he came back. And Arsenal won a last Premier League game 3-0 comfortably against Nottingham Forest. And the last game in all competition was against Sporting Lisbon, where they dismantled Sporting Lisbon in Lisbon, Portugal, 5-1. But their opponent on Saturday is West Ham United. Their form this season has been abysmal this season. And if you look at the last 5 games in all competition between West Ham United and Arsenal, the last 5 games between them, West Ham United, they have won 2 games against Arsenal in the last 5 games. And they lost 2 and they draw 1. So looking at the last 5 games between the 2 teams in all competition, the record is 50-50. Arsenal 2 victories, West Ham United 2 victories. But at this stage of the season, West Ham United, they have struggled, particularly at home. They have struggled at home than away this season. And their last 5 games in the Premier League this season, they won 2, they lost 2, and draw 1. Their last game was last weekend in the Premier League. They defeated Newcastle United at St. James's Park 2-0. That was their best performance this season. And coming into the game, Arsenal last 5 games in the Premier League, they have won 1. Their last 5 games in the Premier League, 1 victory, 2 losses, and they draw 2. So coming into the game, Arsenal, they are in form, particularly the last two games, they have been incredible. So looking at the game on Saturday, what do you make of the game?
Well, for even to our folks up there, those who listening and watching us live, uh, it's a pleasure being on the show tonight. Coming up with um, a pre-discussion of the weekend feature that begins tomorrow. It actually begins today because I think one game played today. Southampton and Brighton had a 1-1 draw today. But back to Arsenal game with West Ham. I first start with West Ham. We know West Ham being somehow terrible this season. They lost so many games, especially from home. Um, Arsenal, their past couple of games have been, you know, they've been so good. They've been sensational. They scored goals, getting the 3 points, and then to start with West Ham, they've been terrible. But their last game on Monday against Newcastle, that was a shocking result, for me. I didn't watch the entire game. I saw part of the game, and at the end of the day, West Ham won 2-0, which are good for them because they've been struggling. Um, Now it's a boost for them, you know, taking all 3 points at the St. James Park and with a clean sheet as well because they've been conceding so many goals since the start of the season. So it was a boost for them going to Arsenal game. It's something that you cannot underestimate them this time around going against Arsenal, most especially their head-to-head record of recent. So I know they've been in a terrible form, but that could be a starting point for them. The game with Newcastle, bringing them back to themselves, getting their season on the way. You know, it was actually good for them. So if you look at the Western team playing this day, they got Antonio, uh, they got him up front, and he pace kind of dropped the past couple of seasons because he got a strength in terms of strength. He's good, but the Premier League require a lot of running, especially a striker. You got to move, So they've been struggling with that. So uh, I'm still gonna give them, you know, I'm still gonna give them a little bit of credit from their last result. But I'll say on my prediction for that game, Arsenal will come out victorious, but it would be a tight one at the end of the day. Arsenal going to win that match. Reason being, Arsenal is in good form. Their past couple of games since the return of their captain, they've been so good. They've been creating a lot of chances and they're scoring goals as well, and also defending. And those are things that can make you um, to get all 3 points when you go into games in the Premier League. Because most of the team don't just sit back to watch you play. It comes to them create a lot of chances. They're going to cut you on the break as well, and that's what West Ham going to do tomorrow. They're going to be playing on the break because if you look at the player to player description and their performances, there's no way that they can win a park of the middle from Arsenal. So, and that would be their best um, tactics in going to the game against Arsenal. Just sit back, catch you on the break. So it's going to be a tricky one. They all, if you look, the head-to-head record, it's kind of almost like 50-50, like you just said. So that's a tricky match for both of them. But their last game in the Premier League, West Ham won again, the top side, which is Newcastle, and Arsenal also won a game. So it's a little bit open, but I say give the edge to Arsenal based upon the current form they're in, the kind of goals it's scoring, and all this stuff. So I believe Arsenal are going to come up victorious tomorrow.
All right, thank you very much. But looking at West Ham United, they are a weak team because games that you don't expect them to get anything from, that's the kind of game they surprise people to win. And looking at their Mayfi, Suchek, Lucas Paqueta from Brazil, and Carlos Sole, they are very good. The middle of the park, they are very good. And up front, they have Bowen and Somerville, number 9, Mikel Antonio. Because Kudus will not play this game because he stays serving his ban from the straight red card he got a few weeks ago against Tottenham Hotspur. And they are a threat also going forward. Looking at that front three, they have pace, particularly Bowen and Somerville. So with a threat from West End, and they're playing at home. And in the Premier League, at home, any team can win at their own stadium because the crowd going to be behind them. The crowd will give them support. They are the 12 men. 11 men on the pitch. The crowd, they are the 12 men in the stand. So don't you think with all these players, the middle of the pack, Suchek, Paqueta, up front, Somerville, Bowen, don't you think they stand a chance of winning this game tomorrow?
Yeah, like I just said the same thing. Somerville and Bowen, they are incredible players in terms of pace and skills. They take some players. The only slow person in our attack is Antonio. So that is what I said. The best options for them tomorrow is to catch, on Arsenal on a break on a counter attack system. Um, the Mayfield is good as well. Sometimes teams struggle. You can get the best player, you still struggle. This is the case of West Ham. Those guys that you just mentioned, Paquetá from Brazil, Sociedad, they are all good players. They are all good midfielders. Those are people that got experience, especially Sociedad. He got a very good experience in the Premier League. You know, their problem have been lack of creating chances and defending as well. So the game with Newcastle, they were brilliant in that game. They created some decent chances and they was able to get 2 goals. So it's a tricky match for both of them. Arsenal being in sensational form. Their past 3 games they've been incredible. They scored so many goals. They created a lot of chances. So um, it's tight. It's going to be tight again. Surprises may come in, but I still get an edge to Arsenal based
So
upon
what's your final prediction for this game?
my prediction for that match. Going to be 2-1 in favor of Arsenal.
Okay, 2-1 in favor of Arsenal. All
By the
right.
way, what the prediction last week? How did it go? I can't even
Yeah,
remember.
at the end, I will bring it out.
Okay.
So just remind me at the end of the program.
Yeah. Okay.
So you said 2-1 to
2-1
Arsenal.
in favor of Arsenal tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, let me just come in. The game is a tricky game But West End United sometimes they surprise people with their performance. And their last meeting in the Premier League last season, Arsenal won at West End United 6-0. And the first leg at the Emirates, West End United won 2-0. They even made a penalty in that game. And a lot of people before the return leg thought that West End United, they were going to win because the first leg they won 2-0 at the Emirates and lost at home 6-0. And looking at their features, their past 5 games, they lost to some smaller teams and won at Newcastle. And Newcastle is a very difficult ground. St. James's Park is very difficult for any team to go there and win. Manchester City, Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, everybody struggles there. But they won there 2-0. Even though their past 5 games, they have similar record, 2 wins each team, but Arsenal still have the edge for this game, particularly the return of their captain, Martin Odegaard. He has been in sensational form since he returned. And I can only see an Arsenal victory. And 3-1 to Arsenal. That's my prediction for the game. Arsenal, West Ham 1, Arsenal 3. So now, let's go to other game. We're not going into detail. I just want you to give your prediction. The first game on Saturday is Brentford versus Leicester City. So let me get a prediction for that game.
Brentford.
They're playing home.
They're playing at home, so that game is going to be a tight one. Leicester City want to come back, so it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
1-1?
Yep.
Mommy's watching the video and I watch.
All right. My prediction for that game, Brentford 2, Leicester 1. What about Crystal Palace versus Newcastle? Both teams struggling.
It's a 2 struggling team. Yeah, Palace playing at home, right?
Let me just show something.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Let me just show something before. Probably that will help for you to make a prediction.
No, it's okay. I'm kind of looking at the feature here too. But you can put on the screen too for the public to take a look at it. So
yeah, that's the Premier League table.
Yeah.
And Palace, they are not even in the top 10. They are way down.
Yeah.
So, but they are playing home. They are playing home to Newcastle.
Yeah. So that's Newcastle. I give it to Newcastle 2-0.
2-0 to Newcastle.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going for a draw, a 2-2 draw.
All right.
Palace too, because Palace is a team. It is very difficult to break them down at home. At home, they can give any team a game. Even Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea. At home, they can give any team a game. So my prediction for that game is 2-2. What about Nottingham Forest versus Ipswich Town? What's your prediction?
Ipswich Town and Forest. Forest playing at home. Forest a tough side. They lost their last game. They lost to Arsenal, and then Forest drew. That game, I give it to Forest 2-1 in favor of Forest.
All right, I said 3-1 because Forest against Arsenal, they didn't do anything against Arsenal. They were atrocious against Arsenal. So
right, they want to make a comeback,
and they play at home. So I believe Forest will want to make a comeback. And looking at their position in the league, they have been terrific this season.
Mm-hmm.
That Arsenal loss was their worst game in the Premier League this season. their worst
Right.
performance. So I think they're going to make a comeback and they're going to win comfortably 3-1. So what
Yeah.
about Wolverhampton Wanderer against Bournemouth? What's your prediction?
That's it. Another. We'll struggle a little bit. They struggled this season from the start, and then they won. Uh, they won against we'll say Brighton, their last game.
Wolves?
Yeah. They
No,
won.
they won against Fulham.
Fulham. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
Fulham.
they beat Fulham
That,
5-1
that was
in
a
London.
tricky match for Fulham, and both of them, especially going to that game. I thought Fulham were going to win. My prediction was in favor of Fulham, but that was a huge surprise for us with the number of goals they score in that game. So that game, I give it draw. It's going to be 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be a tricky game. I think I'm going for the draw, but it will be 1-1. 1-1 draw. Because Bournemouth, they have been sensational to the season.
Yeah.
Looking at their standard, they are a smaller club. So the way they started the season, they've been playing fantastic football this season. And Wolf, they are picking up
Right.
because they didn't win for their first 8 or 9 games. They had 0 win. And they still stick with the coach. A lot of teams will fire their coach if you
Right.
don't get a
From that
win
position,
in your
they
first 8 games.
usually let them go.
But they stick with him, and now they are winning games. So we now go to Sunday. The first game on Sunday, right, is Chelsea. Chelsea will be at home to Aston Villa. So these two teams, their last 5 meeting in all competition. Chelsea have won 1, lost 2, and they drew 2 against Aston Villa. The last 5 meeting with Aston Villa. But coming into this game, Chelsea, they have 2 wins in their last 5 games in the Premier League. In the last 5 games in the Premier League, they won 2, they drew 2, and they lost 1. Their last game in the Premier League was against Leicester City at the weekend. They defeated Leicester City 2-1. Aston Villa coming into this game, they have only 1 win from the last 5 matches in the Premier League. 2 losses, 2 draws. Their last game, they were at home to Crystal Palace, and in that game, they struggled.
They struggle a lot.
They were behind 2 times in that game. They struggle a lot. They struggle at home. And for the past 6 weeks, Aston Villa, they have struggled. Even a depleted Man United, they couldn't win against Manchester United at home, Villa Park. They drew 0-0. Since then, they have won only 1 game in the Premier League. They lost heavily to Spurs, 4-1. They lost at Anfield, 2-0. And Amadou Onana is doubtful for the game. Jacob Ramsey is also doubtful. These are 2 of their starting players. They are doubtful. For Chelsea, Pedro Neto is doubtful. Reece James is out. Malo Gusto is also out. So, looking at the game on Sunday, Chelsea 2 wins from their last 5. Aston Villa 1 win from their last 5 Premier League games. What do you make of the game on Sunday between Chelsea and Aston Villa?
Chelsea, Aston Villa is it's going to be a tough one too. I know Chelsea been, their last couple of games have been sensational, and one of their problems last season, the lack of scoring goals by their main striker Jackson. This season, he's been incredible in scoring goals for fun, and he's scoring from half a chances. He's scoring goals from the half a chances, and as compared to last season, he had a couple of not even a couple. He had a lot of clear chances, and he couldn't put the ball at the back of the net. It's not the case of this season. Since the start of the season, he's been incredible, and Chelsea is up there competing as well. Aston Villa was there the first 7, 8 to 9 games, and then they started dropping points, and they just got stuck to that position for a little while. So yeah, they got a very good manager. They got an incredible manager. He been incredible since he took over the club. Um, so that game is going to be a tricky one. We say give Chelsea the edge, but my prediction for that game is going to be 3-2 because Aston Villa want to go for it. They want to score goals. I don't think anyone going to sit back. The reason why I'm giving 3-2 in favor of Chelsea is scoring goals regular, and they also have problem with their defense. They're conceding goals as well, you know. So if you play the attacking system, they both think go attack each other. There'll be a lot of goals, and they're not going to sit. Aston Villa is not going to sit and just allow Chelsea to keep coming at them without going to them too. They got some incredible guys up there too, that can make things happen for them. So it's going to be a tough one. At the end of the day, Chelsea going to come out with a 3-2 victory. But again, this is the Premier League. It full of a lot of surprises. Sometimes our prediction cannot be exact, or it might not be right. We've seen it a couple of times, so it's just a prediction. But that doesn't mean that Aston Villa can pull out a show. We saw a couple of surprises last weekend, so it's going to continue all season long. It's going to continue, but with the position of the two teams on the table and their performances, I'm looking at Chelsea to be up there as compared to Aston Villa. Aston Villa was there the first 5, 6, 7 to 8 games. They was doing good. They were scoring goals, winning games until they started dropping points. And Chelsea too was struggling, and now they pick up. So it's possible. Anybody can pick up form in the Premier League, and they can start from anyone, no matter your position. We saw the last game Liverpool won against the bottom on the table. They struggled to win that game. So the Premier League full of a lot of surprises, but I still give it to Chelsea. You muted.
Thank you very much. Looking at Chelsea, right? They came back this season. A lot of people didn't expect them to be where they are this season because their previous 2 seasons they struggled. They didn't finish in the top 5. They finished outside the top 5 the previous 2 seasons. And appointing a new coach who was coaching in the championship, a lot of people expected them to struggle. Even though for the past 2 years, they bought over 20 players. And right now, they sit 4th place because Brighton drew earlier today. That game moved Brighton 2nd in the table. The 1 point they got today. So Brighton is 2nd place with 23 points. Manchester City also with 23 points. They are 3rd place. Chelsea 4th with 22 points. And even though Chelsea, they are 4th, Arsenal 5th with 22 points also. But a lot of people, a lot of pundits, they see Arsenal as Liverpool and Man City main title contender. Even though Chelsea, they are ahead of Arsenal in the Premier League table. What do you think is the reason a lot of pundits are giving Arsenal? They are giving Arsenal the edge that they will be a threat to Liverpool and Manchester City than Chelsea.
Well, I think people looking at the inconsistencies of Chelsea in terms of performances, and then looking at Arsenal being a major contender the past 2 or 3 seasons, they're always around there, and there's several fighters, and the team, Arsenal team, those players being together for some time as compared to Chelsea. Chelsea is kind of rebuilding. They got rid of almost the entire team. They got a lot of new players. Some like they've been there 1 or 2 years. They've been together, and then got a new manager. Arsenal got a manager for. I think they should be at that fourth or fifth season. I stand to be corrected. So those are things people looking at, giving edge to Arsenal when it comes to title contender over Chelsea. Chelsea is winning right now, but how consistent they're going to be throughout the season as compared to Arsenal. We saw Arsenal last season how they slipped and lost the title to Man City season before last as well. And then Chelsea, the past 2 seasons, we know where they've been. They've been struggling through all the season. This season, they tried Chelsea goal from my opinion. Chelsea goal this season is to be part of the first four. To fall within the Champion League, Champion League team position to qualify for the Champion League. That's their fight this season, not the title. They know that. If it come to that, it come to them on a surprising basis, that's fine. It will be a plus for them. But Chelsea, their main target is this season to be part of that first four. And Arsenal being a consistent contender the past 2 or 3 seasons. So there's no way you can rate Chelsea over Arsenal. They both are, Arsenal struggle a little bit and they find their footing. They already, you see the past couple of games, the winning games, they got in the 3 points and stuff like that. And look at Arsenal and Chelsea game. Chelsea is one of the teams that struggled against all the bigger side this season. They haven't won any of the big teams in the Premier League. So those are factors that people looking at. More especially, they got a lot of young players that they're trying to put together. They say they're in the process of building a team. Arsenal team is already built. That team being built like 2 or 3 seasons now because of that consistency and that position they keep any or at the end of the season.
All right. Thank you very much. So we now move on. Okay, let me give my prediction. I'm sorry. Looking at the game on Sunday between Chelsea and Aston Villa, it will be a very difficult game, even though Villa, they have been struggling than the beginning of the season. But if you look at the 2 teams, their last 5 games, there's Chelsea won 2 and Villa won 1. So Chelsea just won 1 more game than Aston Villa. And they both played some difficult games in those 5 games. And Aston Villa and Chelsea game always, it has been difficult. Even when Jose was in charge of Chelsea, Aston Villa was one of the teams that used to give Jose a game. When they had Ashley Young, Gabriel Agbonlahor, John Carew. But on Sunday, the way Chelsea has been playing this season, they play possession-based football. They control most of the games. Even the game they lost to Liverpool, they had more ball possession than Liverpool in that game. But because Liverpool team, they are very mature. Most of those players, they have been there. They have won titles. They are Champions League winner. They are Premier League winners. So they have that experience. They don't need to have more of the ball to beat you. Chelsea team is a little bit inexperienced because they have a lot of young players in the squad. But it's gonna be a difficult game for both teams. But Chelsea, I gave the edge to Chelsea. One, They are playing at home. Number two, the form of Aston Villa of recent, they have been diabolical. They have been very, very poor. So I think Chelsea going away, they're going to win that game 2-1. So we now move on to the Manchester United and Everton game on Sunday. Manchester United will play Everton on Sunday in the Premier League. Man United, this game will be Man United new coach second Premier League game. His first game, he drew at Ipswich Town at the weekend 1-1. And this will be a first Premier League game at Old Trafford. Coming into the game, Manchester United, since Erik ten Hag was sacked, they have not lost a game. And but the previous 5 games in the Premier League, they won 2, draw 2, lost 1. And that one loss was the reason why Erik ten Hag lost his job against West Ham United. Looking at Everton on the other side, their last 5 Premier League games, they have 1 win in their last 5 games in the Premier League. And if you look at their last 4 games, they have 0 win. So that 1 win came in their first of the last 5. But the last 4 Premier League games, they have 0 win. They drew 3, they lost 1. In their last 3 games in the Premier League, they have not scored a goal. They are scoreless in their last 3 games. They barely score. They are struggling, not getting goal. Dominic Calvert-Lewin struggling to find the back of the net. So coming into the game at Old Trafford, what do you make of that game on Sunday?
Well, Everton is a struggling team. Manchester United is a struggling team. Manchester United got rid of that coach. The points gap is I think 4 or 5 points gap between Man United and Everton. Again, I said this last week. Since the arrival of the new coach, many clubs, we are seeing this around the world, even smaller clubs and bigger clubs. Whenever the club change a manager, the first couple of games is for the player to prove themselves, to show to the coach that they deserve being in the first team. We didn't see that in the first game in charge. In the first game in charge, we didn't see that from those players. There are a lot of players that didn't put in 100% that game, and that was the reason why they drew that match. So this is a second chance for them as well. You know, it's a second chance. I know they play midweek, they play in the Europa, but we're talking about the Premier League because Manchester United want to be there. They want to compete. They want to be part of the first 4. That's the reason why they got to get rid of Erik ten Hag and they brought in Ruben. So he came to do the job. He came to take Manchester United up there. So he been saying this to the players. I know behind closed door, you got to do what he wants you to do. They got to get a result. They got to get a job done. And those are things that you need to win a game. You know, you're going against Everton. You already drew again a newly promoted team to the back to Premier League. Now it's Everton. So you got to do everything possible to win that game. Players got to give in 100%. So nobody win is secure on Manchester United since the arrival of the new coach. He might not say it, but technically that's the fact. So players got to be competing. You got to prove to the coach beyond all reasonable doubt that you deserve being part of our team or you deserve being part of the first team. All right? So if they pull out a show tomorrow or on Sunday a Manchester United player go and prove to the coach that indeed they deserve being on our team, definitely Manchester United is going to win. But if they go back, and I mean, they go to that game like what they've been doing in the past, it's going to be a tough one for them. They might end up losing to Everton. So I'll give Manchester United the edge because change their manager. Players are trying to prove themselves to the new manager. We saw it from a couple of players their first game. So this time around, they didn't get what they wanted to get. They didn't get the 3 points in his first game in charge. The second game in charge, they got the 3 points, and this is the third game in charge, but the second game in the Premier League. So they got to do everything possible to prove that coach that indeed, because the coach already pinpoint some of their weaknesses. He talked about it. Manchester United, some of their problem, he already spoke on it. And player responsible for those things that they already know themselves. So it is time. It's about time to prove themselves. It's time for Manchester United players, especially Bruno Fernandes. You being a captain on the team, you are the leader. You are the leader. Losing the ball cheaply in the middle of the park, it causes danger. It causes serious danger to your defense, to your team. So you got to stop that. Those are things that they got to work on, put themselves together, and give the necessary result to the coach. So my prediction for that game is it's not going to be a wild margin score. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be like a 2-1 in favor of Manchester United if they go to the game with that mindset that this is the time to prove ourselves to the new manager. So we got to get this done. We got to get it for the manager. We got to get it done for him. We got to show to him that we deserve being on this team. We got to show to him that we deserve being on the first team. So if Manchester go into that game with that mentality, definitely they're going to win that match. So my prediction is in favor of Manchester United 2-1.
Yeah, thank you very much for that prediction. For me, Manchester United this season, right? Since they appointed a new coach, Ruben Amorim. I think the remainder of the Premier League season, the major target for the remainder of the season, even though Man United want to be in the Champions League next season as a big club, but they had two pathways to the Champions League. Either through the Europa League by winning the Europa League, which is easier than finishing fourth in the Premier League right now, because Liverpool, they are the best team right now in Europe on form. Even though City, they are struggling, but it'll be difficult for Manchester United to pass City. Arsenal, I don't think Manchester United will finish above Arsenal. No chance. Chelsea, it will be very difficult too. So the coach, what I have seen for the past 3 games, he's using this time. What other coaches did in preseason, like Arne Slot, Maresca from Chelsea, you evaluate your players in preseason to know your starting 11. So for the past few games, he made a lot of changes every game. So he's trying to find his starting team because it's a new formation, new style of play, and a lot of players will not catch that style of play at the same time. Some players will get the idea quicker, like in school. Some students, they quick to pick up, and other students, they are very slow. Even though a lot of time people say somebody is dull, nobody is actually that dull, but some people are slow learner and some people, they learn fast. That's the big difference. So this is the same thing as a player. On new formation, a lot of players will not catch the formation quickly. Even the positioning, he said it after the first game against Ipswich, that some of the players, they were confused. They don't even know off the ball, on the ball, which position to take on the pitch. Because that's tactics. You have to know where to be. Off the ball, as a player, you know where to be. The coach will tell you, when we are off the ball, this is the shape of the team off the ball. So you have to be in your position. And on the ball, this is our shape. You have to know where to be. And this is where he's going to find it difficult to implement his style of play. Because some of the players, they will grab it quickly. Some of them will be very slow. But he will know who to start, who to put on the bench, who to leave the football club at the end of the season. So, but with this game, the last 5 meetings between Manchester United and Everton, Man United won all 5. They barely concede against Everton. So for me, this game, as a Man United fan, it will be difficult for me to even predict against my team. But in reality, I can see Man United winning this game 3-1. The reason being I say we're going to concede because it's a new formation, a lot of players, they don't even know what they are doing at the moment in time. This is the reason why I'm even giving 1 goal to Everton. So my prediction for the game is Man United 3, Everton 1. So we now move on. We're just going to predict the Spurs, and Spurs is playing home against Fulham. Spurs, they lost at home. Their last home game in the Premier League, they lost to Ipswich Town 2-1. Having won against Aston Villa 4-1, they lost at home to Ipswich 2-1. And after that defeat, they won away last weekend to Manchester City 4-0. And now they are playing another lesser opposition, Fulham. So, just be brief. What do you make of that game? Looking at Tottenham doing well in the difficult games and playing badly in the smaller games.
There have been Spurs problem this season, and that's inconsistency. So my prediction for that game, like you said, we're not going in depth into the Spurs and Fulham game. Fulham also struggling. Uh, man,
Tottenham.
Tottenham Spurs won. They won against City. Winning against City, we know City is struggling, but you got to do the right thing in order to win City. So that game is going to be a very open game. Fulham is struggling. They're trying to get a footing. So from a Fulham perspective, they want to do everything possible not to concede another defeat this time around. And they might look at their past game, Spurs past game with the weaker side. They struggled against them. So Fulham going to go for everything. Why Spurs who want to they want to keep that record clear. They want to get that record straight by losing to the lesser side and winning against bigger side. They want to keep that 100% record. They want City. They want to come back and win another game. So it's going to be a tough match. That game I go for 2-2 draw.
All right, thank you very much. And I just wrote that down like 2-2. That's my prediction actually. Because looking at Spurs, if they were winning those smaller games, they could have been at least second place in the Premier League table. They lost to so many small teams. If you watched them yesterday against Roma, Roma has been trash this season, absolute garbage. And they struggled against Roma in the Europa League yesterday. Drew at home against that Roma team after defeating Manchester City 4-0. Then your next game, you drew against Roma. And Fulham, they lost heavily at home last weekend. So they have their opportunity. But I think the game going to be a 2-2 draw too. So Fulham 2, Tottenham 2. So now we move on to the last game on Sunday. The biggest game on Sunday, the biggest game this weekend in Europe. The league leader, Liverpool, they are trying to run away with the Premier League. They are winning. They just keep winning. Their last 5 games in all competition, they won all their last 5 games. And this season, they have the best defense in the Premier League. Right now, they are 8 points clear of second place Brighton. And if they win on Sunday, they will be 11 points clear of Manchester City. And coming into that game, Liverpool Mayfield, they keep dominating possession in games. Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, particularly those 2 players in the middle of the park, they keep dominating possession. Mo Salah, Lalo Guin, he will be quiet. But this guy, he has been consistent since he moved to Liverpool 2017. He has been Liverpool's best player in Premier League history. And this season, he already has 10 goals, 2 goals behind Erling Haaland in the Premier League Golden Boot race. Liverpool, they are a team that is very, very fast in attack. If you look at Salah, Diaz, and Nunes, on the break, Liverpool, they are the deadliest team in the Premier League on the break. Liverpool can defend a corner in less than 10 seconds. They will score after defending a corner. They are very, very deadly on the break. And now looking at City, their last 5 games in all competition, they drew 1. And that 1 game was in the Champions League on Tuesday, where they were in the lead 3-0 until the 75 minute when Guardiola made an error. And after that, City, they capitulated. They crumbled under pressure once again, giving away a 3-goal lead to draw 3-3 against Feyenoord. Now, even an elite club in Europe, but Feyenoord, no disrespect to Feyenoord, but they are not at that level to come from 3 goals down to draw with less than 20 minutes remaining. The first time ever in the history of the Champions League for a team to come from 3 goals down in less than 20 minutes to go and draw the game. First time ever in the history of Champions League. And looking at City, Rodri is out. Bernardo Silva is 30. Johnston is 30. Kyle Walker is 34. Ederson, their goalkeeper, is 31. Ike Gundogan, 34. Kevin De Bruyne, 33. And their Mayfield, with the exception of Phil Foden, they all are old. They are in their 30s. And they struggle for pace in the middle of the park whenever they come against midfielder that have a lot of energy. So, looking at that game on Sunday, what is your take on that game?
This is the right moment, the right time for Martin Liverpool. Unfortunate for Man City, coming against Liverpool, where their team is in a very bad shape. All right. Their past 6 games, they've been terrible. You know, even though they scored 3 goals in the Champions League against a smaller side final, and then in the 75 minute, and final came from behind and equalized 3 goals. It's a clear indication that Man City going through a bad time. And unfortunately for them, Liverpool is at their best. They're scoring goals, they're winning games consistently. And you happen to play then where your team is in a bad shape and Liverpool is in a better shape. Um, Usually it's a huge game since Guardiola and Liverpool former coach Jurgen Klopp got to play that kind of attacking football. Every time Man City going against uh, Liverpool is a tough match. So the new coach of Liverpool, Arne Slot, his style of play is a little bit different from the previous coach. I know Guardiola kind of used to playing Liverpool every time he's seeing Liverpool, he know they coming with the same pattern of play because this coach been around for some time and they play so many games. They play games in the Champions League, they play games in the Premiership, and so many games Liverpool and Man City have played. But this is going to be interesting. Pep Guardiola, being a brilliant coach, he has succeeded a lot. He won a lot of trophies, and with the current Man City team, he won a lot of trophies with them. But again, this is Liverpool that you're going again. This is the Liverpool that been incredible this season. Arguably, they are the best team in Europe. If you ask me, that's my opinion. Because they proved that in the Premier League and they proved that in the Champions League. They just won Real Madrid, the all-time best team in the Champions League. They just won them two goals to nothing, and they outplayed them. So, City psychologically, City is down. Their team is down, and it's going to be a tough one for them. It's going to be hard for City to come out of this. If they do, that's going to be a huge surprise where the performance in Liverpool have pulled up. But again, this is Pep Guardiola. People still believe in him. People still believe in him. Though this is the first time to go into 6 games without a win. It's the first time in his career. You know, all the same got psychological effect on the team, on the players, on the technical staff, the coaching staff. They all kind of thinking about it. What's going on? What's going on with City? But I think they know what is going on because you just mentioned, and we talked about it before, you got like 5, 6 starting players that aging, that's already in their 30s. Naturally, footballer, if you hit that 30, you in 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, you're not going nowhere anymore. You're just dropping. You already reached your peak.
Because they have, they have the 5th oldest squad in the Premier League, beyond West End, beyond team like West End United, Fulham, right, Newcastle, and Everton.
There you go. So this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. And unfortunately for them, they got one of their main men injured. He's out for the whole season. I don't think that should be the problem with City. The problem with City, they got too many aging players.
And Rodri on a decline. Rodri is 28.
Right. He's close to 30 as well. So the crowd of City, I was surprised. The crowd of Pep Guardiola, after that game, they interviewed him and he did mention about gave him a players back, and you see the real City. Really? This is why would you say that as an outstanding manager? That people believe in you, people believe in your ideology of football, and you come out to say to cry, baby, how many players you got on that team? You had to register how many players for a season. So if one player is missing, only Rodri. So why are you talking about giving my players? Who the players are you talking about? The game, your last game you played, you had in your possession of almost all of your players with the exception of Rodri. If you're talking about Daku is not a starting player for Man City. Grealish is the one that played from that left wing. And you had Grealish on the pitch. You had Kevin De Bruyne that came from the bench. You had Gundogan. You had Bernardo Silva. You had Haaland. You had Phil Foden. And you're trying to put trust in our kid that played in our midfield. Sometimes he's in defense, Louis, and he's a good player as well.
No, he's
So your
no.
problem is, the problem is those aging players. They're not chasing no longer. You know, they kind of drop pace. When it comes to chasing, creating, the Premier League is fast, especially going against Liverpool. The attack of Liverpool is dangerous to any defense, to any team in the Premier League. You know, and they got a very compact midfield. Ryan Gravenberch, since this season started under the new manager, he been sensational. For me, he's the best player, Liverpool best player, looking at the position he came from, coming from the bench all the time last season and giving you the chance this season. And he been so incredible. He's injury free this season so far. Though Mo Salah is incredible as well, but the engine of our team right now, it lasts in the park. McAllister, Gravenberch, and this kid, Curtis Jones, he's doing so well. He's doing so well this season. Imagine putting what's the Hungary midfielder name? It just slipped off my mind. Benching him most of the game, featuring Curtis Jones. You know, Superstar. Yeah, Superstar come from the bench this year. So they got a very compact midfield, but only feared for Liverpool on Sunday. Konate is injured. He won't be out. He won't be on the pitch that day. He sustained during Madrid game. But again, they still got two defenders on that bench that can come and perform as well. They got Gomez. Gomez got a lot of experience, and they do have Quansah, Gerard Quansah. So they got possible replacement for Konate, and also that kid that was playing the red bar during Madrid game, Bradley. So I give Liverpool the edge. Anybody would do the same. If you analyze the two teams' performances this season, there's no way you get edge to City. City is struggling. Liverpool is in their best form. They're scoring goals for fun. They're winning games, and they're not even conceding. And if you look at the top scorer in the Barclays Premier League, or the top scorer for Man City, Haaland, his record against bigger side, especially Liverpool, is very terrible. He's going against Van Dijk. We saw a couple of games he going against Van Dijk. We know how it ended up. And he's the best player for City. He's the one that giving them goals. He's the one that's scoring goals for them. So if he is deleted from that match, it's a game over for City. So my prediction for that game is going to be 3-1 in favor of Liverpool.
All right, let me ask you, coming into the game Sunday, looking at Gravenberch, he has been sensational. McAllister, he has also been terrific this season. And City Mayfield, Phil Foden, he has been terrible this whole season, having won the Premier League Player of the Year last season. Coming into this season, the heir to Kevin De Bruyne throne, according to Manchester City fan. But he has disappointed Man City fan because he has been terrible. And Ike Gundogan, coming back from Barcelona at the age of 34, he has been abysmal too. Kevin De Bruyne, he hasn't been the same Kevin, and he's 33. So I think age is catching up with him. So looking at that Mayfield, very slow, and Liverpool Mayfield, very mobile. So how do you think, or what do you think the team that are going to win the Mayfield battle on Sunday?
Performance wise,
yeah, to win the Mayfield battle.
Performance wise, is that Mayfield is going to be dominated by Liverpool. If you look at the individual players, the names are there. Man City might get a bigger name, because of their past glory. But this season, there's no way. If you look at Grafenberg, almost all of the games in play, he dominated possession. He touches on the ball. He got more touches on the ball than any other player on the field, both sides. It's been like that all season long. And this is people that got the pace, they got the energy. And you're talking about aging player going against those young and energetic players. And they have shown that all long season, through all the season, they've been Mercedes been awful in a Mayfield. They lost the Mayfield to smaller teams. We saw them against Tottenham Spurs. We saw them against Brighton in the Premier League, and we saw them against Sporting in the Champions League. And final, this gone game. So things might change. Don't get me wrong, because it's going to be a huge game. It has always been a huge game when it comes to City and Man City. Surprising may come in, but there's no way that you get edge to Man City based upon their performance and as compared to Liverpool. So that Mayfield is going to be dominated by Liverpool. At times, they might try to come in a little bit because they got some young players too as well. Like I was just talking about the case I just mentioned. And they know one of the things that are going to give some leverage to City. City know within themselves when they lost that game, it's a season over for them when it comes to the Barclays Premier League. So they got to do everything possible, put their feet in the ground to stop Liverpool from winning that game. And it's a challenge as well. It's a challenge as well for Liverpool new manager. It's a challenge for Liverpool as well, because this is the first meeting in the Barclays Premier League with Pep Guardiola. He want to make everything possible to win against him. So it's going to be a tough match. By the end of the day, Liverpool going to come up victorious.
Yeah, thank you very much. For me, that game on Sunday, it's a very crucial game, particularly for City, because if they lose that game, their hope of defending the Premier League title will be over, even though mathematically it will not be over. But 11 points, if they lose the game, they will be 11 points behind Manchester City. And probably if they lose, they will be fifth place on Sunday, provided if Arsenal and Chelsea, if they win their games. And City coming into the game with a very terrible defense. If you look at Guardiola, last season he was sensational, but this season he has been awful. Kyle Walker, he's done and dusted. Now he has lost his pace. Through all his entire career, he depended on his pace. But right now, he cannot run no more than before. So he's done in the defense. And when you look at John Stone, he has not been a same John Stone saying he came from a long-term injury. Even Ruben Diaz, he has not been the same Ruben Diaz 3 seasons ago when he was very, very good 3 seasons ago. He was phenomenal. He has never been the same. And playing Rico Lewis, he's a kid, he can improve. But at this moment in time, he's a bang average footballer. A lot of players, when a team is performing, when a team is playing well, you can put any average player among good players and he will look good. But when a team starts to struggle, this is the time you know the difference between good players and average players. Even when Sir Alex Ferguson was winning the Premier League, he had a lot of bang average players that could do a job, because they were playing with people like Rio, Vidic, Cristiano, Wayne Rooney, Tevez, Schools, so they look good. He could put John O'Shea, Darren Fletcher in the middle of the park. They will look good. But they were bang average. They were not good footballer. They were average. So if Guardiola thinks that a player like Rico Lewis can make Man City to win games at the crucial stage of the season, then he's up for trouble. Because this kid, if you watch him play in recent time, he just run around the headless chicken. The positioning on the play on the pitch is terrible, very terrible. So with AJ Mayfield, Gordon, De Bruyne, and depending on only Erling Haaland to score goal, because that has been one of the major problems this season. If Erling Haaland doesn't score goal, they lose. We saw it against Tottenham at the weekend. Haaland had a lot of chances, but he didn't take any of them. And nobody on City team getting goals at the moment. Grealish is not a goal scorer. Jeremy Doku cannot score. Savino cannot score. And Ike Godogala used to score. He is done. He's not scoring no more for City. So my prediction for that game, Liverpool is going to battle City. It will not even be a close game. Even though sometimes surprises can happen. But in my opinion, Liverpool going to battle them on Sunday. They will hammer City. They will hammer them at least 3-0. That's my prediction for that game. City going to get hammered, and they will be all of the title race come Sunday. And they're going to struggle to maintain 4th place, because City, they will not finish above third place this season, in my opinion. Because Guardiola, he has so many problems on our team. It's not only Rodri. You can just go to the transfer market and buy a defensive midfielder. Then you think the problems are solved. No, there are many problems in the team. You have to replace Gundogan. You have to replace Kevin De Bruyne. You have to replace Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and you cannot replace them in January. Because in January, it's difficult to even find a good player. That's the first thing. Nobody wants to sell their good player in January transfer window. So Liverpool going to win again, 3-0. So we now move on to the La Liga preview. Tomorrow, Barcelona will take on La Palmas in the La Liga. Barcelona, in their last 5 games of competition, they won 3, lost 1, drew 1. And they have a very good record against La Palmas. Their last 5 meetings, they have won 4, they drew 1. So the last 5 meetings between the two clubs, Barcelona have now lost a game. And La Palmas sits 12th place, 17th place in the La Liga table with 12 points. Barcelona are first place in the La Liga table with 34 points. Coming into the game tomorrow, what do you make of the game? How you think the game going to go tomorrow?
That game is a one-sided game. You just said it. La Palma don't have any good record against Barcelona, and this time around, Barcelona scoring goals, the winning games. This is one of their best seasons so far. The past 3 or 4 seasons, this is one of Barcelona's best seasons when it comes to performances, scoring goals, creating chances, and they got a very young team. The energies are there. The reason why they struggle in some games is because they got too many younger players, and those players are still fighting to adapt to the system, to adapt to the game, to adapt to the league. Because if you're a younger player or you're a young player and you're playing so many games, sometimes in 2-3 days time you play like 2 games, there are a lot of challenges, but there's nothing compared to La Palma compared to Barcelona when it comes to their position on the table. 17 players going against the first play, and this is the team that been incredible this season. They scored so many goals. So La Palma is going to struggle against him. It's obvious Barcelona going to win again. My prediction for that probably like 4-1.
All right. Thank you very much. The game on Saturday, excuse me. Barcelona will be at home against La Palmas. A home game. Barcelona in good form. Have a good record against La Palmas. Last five meetings, they have not lost. They won 4 of their last 5 games against La Palmas. And La Palma is just one place above relegation zone. And Barcelona first place. So I can just see the game of one-way traffic. It's a one-way traffic game. Lewandowski probably going to get a couple of goals in this game. So Barcelona going to win. They're 4-0. That's my prediction for the game. So, but on Sunday, struggling Real Madrid, they were dreadful against Liverpool. They were terrible against Liverpool, particularly Jude and Kylian Mbappe, because they are the one that's supposed to run the show against Liverpool. But they struggle. They were terrible. Mbappe, he was abysmal in that game. And coming into the game, they have a lot of injuries. They have a lot of injuries for this game. But it's at the Santiago Bernabeu. They have to make a comeback. Because right now, Barcelona are 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. But Real Madrid, they have a game in hand. And if they can keep the pressure on Barcelona with all of the injuries, then January transfer window, if they can address some of those problems and some of the players can come back, then they can pull out a good fight for the La Liga title in the Champions League. And Real Madrid last 5 games, they lost 3 of their last 5 games in all competition. They lost 4-0 against Barcelona. They lost 3-1 to AC Milan at home, and Barcelona 4-0 at home also. They lost away 2-0 to Liverpool, and they won 2 games in those 5 games. And they are second place in the table with 30 points. And against La Palma, they have a very good record against Getafe. I'm sorry. They have a very good record against Getafe. Their last 5 meetings with Getafe, they won everything. 0 defeat, 0 draw. So do you think with that record, even though they are struggling right now, they have lost 3 of their last 5 matches in all competition, do you think Real Madrid can make a comeback on Sunday against Getafe? You muted, you're on mute. You muted.
All right. Yeah. Real Madrid. I don't think the issue about it got anything to do with record anymore, because we saw them against Liverpool since 2009. Liverpool having won against Real Madrid, but all that was put to bed. This going match, they lost 2-0 to Liverpool. So record doesn't matter at the moment for Real Madrid, because their team, they kind of struggled from the beginning of the season. They managed to win games that they struggle in, but with the injury list of Madrid, it kept on adding up. Cavaninga was also injured. He was replaced in the second half of the match against Liverpool. So it's a tough match for them. Getafe is a Madrid-based team, and then with the injury list of Madrid, it's going to be a tough match. I hope and pray that Madrid manage to get something out of that game, and they need to do that after losing to Liverpool. They got to do it to keep the pressure on Barcelona, despite the injury the injury crisis on the team. This is the best option for them. Win that game. Getafe is not a tough side when it comes to Real Madrid. They can still pull out a win against them, and that's what they need to, and they have to. If they win again, it will keep the gap like 4 points, and they still got a game in hand. They just got to keep managing their game very well until they can get to January or until some of their players can return. I know Vanessa is going to be back in the next maybe 2 weeks. He's going to be off for like 3 weeks. Rodrigo too is making some progress. So, and those are players that they need back because you need to score. Those are guys that can score goals, that can make things happen for them. They don't want to. They can't rely on Mbappe anymore as goal getter for them. He struggled in games after game. Liverpool game was a clear example. The absence of Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo, he had the show to in your hand. He and Jude better him, especially for Mbappe. He had most of those chances and he was awful in that game. I don't know what's going on with this kid, but I know he's a professional footballer. He's a good player. We're not going to discredit him. We can criticize him, but that doesn't mean that he's not a good footballer. We have seen what he has done over the past. At the age of 25, he had to get to that point where he's supposed to start declining. Maybe something is going on in your head psychologically that makes him not concentrating because he been like that. Mbappe being like that last season with Paris Saint-Germain, even going to the Euro, he underperformed. So it's the same kind of way he's still playing, And Madrid is a big stage. It's a bigger club. You come over there, you can't allow pressure to overcome you. This is the first season. We know that this is the first season. He got so much to do for that club. He got so much to go. He just need to keep his heads up high. He still got all the chances in playing. He got in the minute that he need to play. He got in the playing time. He just need to put himself together and start scoring goals. So it's a tricky match for Madrid because of the injury listing, but Madrid can still pull out a win. And I being a Real Madrid fan, there's no way that I'm going to say that Madrid is not going to pull out a show. It's hard for me to come out and say Getafe is going to win Madrid. Our records are 100% when it comes to Getafe. So that game is going to be, it's not going to be a wild margin. Maybe it's going to be a 2-0 win for Madrid. Madrid is struggling badly in the Champions League, but they're also winning some games. We saw that game against Leganes in La Liga prior to going to Liverpool. That game, we have midfielder playing the right back position, and they still managed to win that game 3-0. So Madrid's a big side. They got a lot of young players too, and they got players that are playing, different position that are not their natural position, but they still pulling, some result. Vasquez is back. He been playing the right back since Cavaja left. He played against Liverpool and he won a penalty that was made by Kylian Mbappe. So they're going to get there gradually, and they need to do that in order to be part of that title race. Because if you lost tomorrow or you drop a point on Sunday, it will give Barcelona another edge. Barcelona were already, up there. They had huge point gap between them and Madrid, but their inconsistency and Madrid were consistent a few times. They managed to cut it down. If they do win the outstanding match, it's going to be just 1 point. So that game, my prediction is 2-1 in favor of Real Madrid.
2-1?
Yeah, 2-1.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. For me, looking at Real Madrid game against Getafe on Sunday, looking at the record, Real Madrid last 5 games, they won all 5 against Getafe. And this season, Getafe, they are struggling. They sit 15th place with 13 points. Even though Madrid, they are also struggling, particularly in the Champions League, because they have lost only 1 game in the La Liga, which are against Barcelona, 4-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu. But they are winning in La Liga despite Madrid having a lot of players injured. But they continue to put the pressure on Barcelona. This game, I can only see a Real Madrid win in this game. My prediction for this game is Real Madrid 3, Getafe 1. It's just going to be a comfortable win for Madrid because Getafe, they are struggling. They are abysmal. They barely score goals. And Madrid, despite the injury, they are still winning. And if they win their if they win their outstanding game against Valencia, whenever they schedule a game, they will be 1 point behind Barcelona at this stage of the season. And Barcelona, they have been in good form. A lot of pundits have praised Barcelona this season. All over Europe, all the pundits praising Barcelona that they are playing scintillating football. But despite Madrid poor form, Madrid could be only 1 point behind Barcelona, despite being very terrible at this stage of the season. So if Madrid can maintain this level, the point gap, if they can maintain this point gap, I think they stand a good chance to win La Liga. So let me ask you there, are you there? Looking at Carlo Ancelotti, because some Madrid fans or some pundits, they have been calling for Ancelotti to get sacked. And Don Carlo, he has won 5 Champions League as a manager. And he won Champions League twice as a footballer because he was also a footballer. He won 2 Champions League while playing for AC Milan as a player. And he won 2 Champions League as a coach for AC Milan, 3 Champions League as a coach for Real Madrid. And some people are calling for him to be sacked. So, are they overreacting, or Ancelotti deserve the sack at this stage of the season?
Well, I think that's an overreaction. You got to give Ancelotti some credit, some level of credit. This man, I don't think, arguably, I can say he's the best manager of all time. You know, every team have a bad time. And you seen the crisis on Real Madrid. You seen the injury crisis. Why get rid of him in the middle of a crisis? He's not at fault. Some of the games that he kind of lost, like he dropping points. You can't blame the manager for it. This man is a great manager. You got to get the right player to get the right result. You know, you need all of your players, not almost. You need like 80 to 85%. If possible, you need 100% of your player to get the rightful result. Valencia is out. Cavaja been very, very instrumental on Real Madrid. And this man is out for the whole season, So why would people start saying that Carlos Ancelotti should go? Are you not thinking he achieved what he had done for this club? You're not looking at that? If the coach got every mechanism into place and say he's not getting results, he's struggling, then you talk about that. Then you talk about the coach underperforming. Carlos is not underperforming. Madrid just having a bad time. Unfortunately for them, they're having so much injury. That's the problem. So this is not a time for Carlos to leave. Give him a chance, let the players come back. He can still get the job done. You're muted.
Let me ask you the last question. Kylian Mbappe, a lot of fans have been calling for Mbappe to be a sub in the next game, having sting the place against Liverpool. because his performance against Liverpool was dreadful. And a lot of fans are calling for Carlo Ancelotti to give chance to other young players, particularly the kid from Brazil, that they should give him a chance. They should give him the opportunity to start at the weekend. So, do you think Carlo Ancelotti he will be brave enough to start Kylian Mbappe on the bench, even though Rodrigo is out, Vini Jr. is also out?
My answer to that, no. We look at how many attacking options you got. That's probably bad fun of Kylian Mbappe with the options he got. Kylian Mbappe said his best option, his first option. We know this guy. We know this guy what he have done in football. In football, you know what he did for Paris Saint-Germain, what he did for the French national team. He just needed time. He's having a very bad, time. We know that things are not just falling, in place for him right now. But that doesn't mean that he should be disrespected. That kid in question, Hendrik, he's a young, energetic, but he's new to European football as well. You know, you can still get an option. You can put that kid up front, put in the striking position, and say stop Kylian Mbappe from the left wing, and that is exactly what I think Carlos Ancelotti should do. Get both of them on the team. Vanisha is absent, Rodrigo is absent, and you do have in your possession of the Moroccan. Brian Diaz is there. You can get Brian. You can get him on the right side. Get Kylian Mbappe on the left side. You get Hendrik in the center forward. That should be your first. Your three, your front three. Then in midfield, you don't have Cavaniga. Cavaniga is gone. You got Modric. You do have Gullet, and you also have Ceballos, because it's obvious that maybe he's going to start Valverde from the right wing position, or since Vasco is back, Vasco is going to play from that position, and then you can get Valverde, Luka Modric, and Ada Gullet. You still got the options to put that kid Mbappe on the pitch. I know they brought a couple of players from the youth academy, that will be there for some time until the guys can recover. So those are saying that Mbappe should be reduced to the bench. This is not the time for that. Madrid is struggling. We got so much injury. Mbappe is still the best option for us until those guys can get back. So why will you put him on the bench? Then what are you doing to your team? So that is not an option for Carlo Ancelotti to do right now, to reduce Kylian Mbappe on the bench. He got to get in the game, give him the chance, give him the confidence, try to gain that confidence, stand by him. He's struggling. He's going through a lot. So this is the best time that the team and the manager, his teammates, to stand by him, pushing forward, keep pushing until he can grab a footing.
So looking at Mbappe's performance, even though he's a new signing, but his performance has been below par. He has been terrible since he joined Real Madrid. There were a lot of expectations. A lot of people expected him to even be the main man, over Vini Jr. Even though for the past few seasons, since Karim Benzema left, Vini has been a main man on Real Madrid. But a lot of people thought it was Kylian time to be the main man at Real Madrid. And I know because Kylian, he has a big ego. His ego is big. And in his mind, he wants to be that guy on Real Madrid. And if his performance doesn't change, what do you think Carlo Ancelotti going to do?
Well, he do have the whole season to go through. He got options to go through the whole season with that, and we know Kylian Mbappe. He's a fantastic footballer. We know that for sure. So if he cannot improve, um, it's going to be a tough one for him. We're seeing great players that went to Real Madrid with the same ego they want to achieve, and then they start to underperform, and nothing could change for them. At the end of the day, they're reducing to the bench. This is Real Madrid, nobody above the club. But people who had the perception of Kylian Mbappe going and just become the main man of Real Madrid, they get that wrong. Vinicius remained the main person. He remained the main player. He remained the target man for Real Madrid until Kylian Mbappe can prove himself. Take into consideration, this is a new environment. This is a new league you're going. You haven't been in a league before, and you're going to the world biggest club, the world biggest football club. You're going to them. So many big names are going through the rank and file. They have left their legacy. They have left the records. So going to those clubs, going to that club with the expectation of just becoming the king of Real Madrid overnight, no, that's not impossible. Vinicius in question, do you know how many seasons young Vinicius took to get into the spotlight, to get to that position, to become the main man for Real Madrid? It took him so many years. So it requires patience, time, dedication. It requires all those things to get to that point. It requires all those things to get to that point. Kylian Mbappe, he being a brilliant player, but this is Real Madrid we're talking about. It ain't no small club that you went to. This is Real Madrid. You need that time, you need that patience, and you need the support of your teammate. You need the support of your technical staff. And I believe he has been given those support. Vinicius Jr. had proven that on the page. He won penalty and took it and gave it to Kylian Mbappe just to give him that confidence, just to give him that guidance, just to give him that support. People said they couldn't get along, but that has been proven wrong. We're seeing them getting along, but things are not just falling into place for Kylian Mbappe at the moment. But I do believe this is Kylian Mbappe. I do believe he will find his footing. And when that happens, the story will change. Until then, Vinicius still remain the main person for Real Madrid.
All right, thank you very much. Let me just look at our prediction for last weekend. I will not be able to share it on the stream, but I will just read it to you and the audience, and then I will come back to you. Anything you have to say or off topic. Let me look at the prediction for this gone weekend. Because what I did, like if you get a correct score, it's 3 points. If you say, for example, Liverpool win, but you miss the score and Liverpool won the game, it's 1 point. If you say the team going to draw 1-1 and it draws 0-0 or 3-3, it's also 1 point. So the first game, Leicester City, the result, Leicester City 1, Chelsea 2. Otis' prediction was 2-2. My prediction was Leicester City 1. So Otis got 0 point. My prediction was Leicester City 1, Chelsea 3. So I got 1 point. Your prediction was Leicester City 1, Chelsea 2. So you got all 3 points. You got a prediction right. So the Forest game result, Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Ote prediction was Arsenal 3, Forest 1. My prediction was Arsenal 2, Forest 1. Your prediction was Arsenal 3, Forest 2. So not all get a score right, but we all got 1 point each. And the score Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2. Ote said 1-1, so he got 1 point. I said Aston Villa 3, Palace 1. So I got 0 point. And you said Aston Villa 2, Palace 1. You got 0 point. The next result was Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2. And I said Bournemouth, Ote said, excuse me, Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2. So Otis got all 3 points. He got a prediction right. And I said Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2. I also got a prediction right with 3 points. And you said Bournemouth 2, Brighton 2. So you got 0 there. And the next result was Everton 0, Brentford 0. And Otis predicted 2-2. He got 1 point. I predicted 2-1 to Brentford. I got 0. You predicted Everton 1, Brentford 0. You also get 0 point. The next result was Fulham 1, Wolves 4. Otis said 2-1, 0 point. 2-1 to Fulham. He gets 0 point. I said 3-1 to Fulham, 0 point. And you said 2-1 to Fulham, 0 point also. The next result, Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 4. Otis predicted Man City 2-1 win. I predicted Man City 3-1 win. You predicted 2-2. So none of us get point in our picture. And Southampton, the next game, Southampton 2, Liverpool 3. Otis says Southampton 1, Liverpool 3. He got 1 point. I said Southampton 0, Liverpool 3. I got 1 point. You said Southampton 0, Liverpool 2. You also get 1 point. Ipswich Town versus Man United. Ipswich 1, Man United 1. I said Man United. Otis said Ipswich 1, Man United 4, 0 point. I said Ipswich 1, Man United 3, 0 point. And you said Ipswich 1, Man United 3. You also get 0 points. So Otis got the highest point last weekend, 7 points from the games, and you got 5 points, and I got 6 points. So Otis was the winner this gone weekend. So with that being said, if you have anything off topic that you want to talk about, football related, you can just say it.
Well, I don't have much to say. The Premier League, the season is it's a long season. It's a long season away. I stay young. There's a lot of things that will happen along the way. My prediction for the Premier League winner this season is Liverpool. I still stand by that. Um, the La Liga is still open for me. Madrid, I still believe Madrid can still win the La Liga. Uh, and then to our fan, the viewer up there, I want to extend my thanks and appreciation to each and every one of you that subscribing to this channel, that can take upon yourself and watch some of the video. We want to say thank you so much, and we want to encourage others to keep subscribing to our YouTube channel, keep subscribing, keep watching, keep sharing as well. Thank you to those that have taken the time to comments, like, and all the stuff. It's just the beginning. This is the beginning, and we want more subscriber. We want people to be encouraged to subscribe to the channel. This is all about fun. We come here to just share fun, give result, give our view. Sometimes our views don't matter in some of those games, but we come up with it, and some are right. You just read some of those prediction. Some went right, some was wrong. It's gonna be like that. This is football, but we are doing it for the passion that we got for this beautiful game. We'll continue to get passion. We'll continue to support the game, and we want you guys to join us in the process. This is entertainment after the game. Back home, we used to sit and argue this, that, but this is a different level to that. We agree to disagree. prior to the game. We can come up to say stuff, and we just want to say thank you. You guys are amazing people. We want to encourage you guys to continue doing this, and we're going to continue doing this until we get to the top. This is the beginning. Thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Enjoy the game, and then we'll come back after the weekend game to discuss the result, to discuss things that happen, and that's the interesting part of it. So once again, thank you up there.
All right, thank you very much for coming on. If anybody want to be a part, you want to be a panelist, if you want to be part of the football heritage, you can just email me, or if you have my contact, or if you have my brother contact, you can also contact him. If you have Otis contact, you can contact Otis. But this is the email address, footballheritage2024@gmail.com. And we're just doing this for fun because a lot of people, particularly in America, you come from work, you don't have anything to do. A lot of people, they're going through stress, they're going through a lot of stuff in this country. So it's just for entertainment, it's just for fun. This is not politics. This is not about people relationship. We come here, we give our view about the games, and we made our prediction. And after that, on Sunday, we come back here after the games, we discuss the game, we give our post-match analysis. And even those that are being paid by beIN Sport, by ESPN, and so on, their prediction don't come right always. When they make their prediction, some can come to pass and some cannot come to pass. And they are also giving their views on the game. They just give their view. The difference is a lot of them play the game. And to tell you this, most of them, they don't even watch all the games. Most of them. If you listen to some of their kine, if you listen to some of them, their analysis is abysmal. They barely watch football game, but they give their view on all the games. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on. Even though more people will listen after the show, because after the show, the people that can listen, they are far more than people that can watch when we are on live. So, you will all be listening later after this program. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. It's the Football Heritage. The link is in the description. The Football Heritage. Peace. I'm Oloye.